Morris and his Falcons will host Dan Quinn and his Washington Commanders in this big Week 4 matchup. This is a rematch of Week 17 last year, an incredible game on Sunday Night Football, one that went to overtime. We can expect something pretty similar to that matchup last year. Now, what we know about Jayden Daniels is that as of right now, it is slated for him not to be out there playing quarterback. He has been limited in practice, and I have to go ahead and go with the assumption he will not be playing. So Marcus Mariota steps in for the second week in a row. Now, he played pretty well last week against the Oakland Raiders. Everything seemed to be working as that offense meshed, came together, ran the football, which has been the theme of this year. You have to love it if you're a Washington Commanders fan, is looking at the run game numbers a season ago, top 5 in the league, and once again, they are right there up at the top, second in the NFL in rushing. For the Atlanta Falcons, the improvement on defense is spectacular. They are currently second in the league in yards allowed per game. They have been very much improved on that side of the ball. The Falcons invested heavily in the trenches, getting their guy late in the first round and James Pierce Jr. after having already taken Jalen Wagner. A huge concern for the Atlanta Falcons early in the season is the kicking game. Koo misses the field goal at the beginning of the year, and now you bring in Romo, who made a couple by the skin of his teeth against Minnesota. He made all of his kicks, but then misses 2 last week, which factored in really heavily into the momentum and what turned the tide early in that football game. Not a good sign. Now, let's talk about Jalen Wagner for a second. He had a bad play, in my opinion. It was first quarter. He's got a rushing assignment, and he just relied so heavily on his athleticism, which he does a lot of the time. He's one of those freak athletes, saw it at Georgia, and now with the Atlanta Falcons staying in the same state, he just went too far upfield. You can see in this image on this play, he's just way too upfield. He's leaving such a gap for Bryce Young. Bryce Young runs through it. You or I would have been able to run through that gap. He's getting pushed around. That is one of the knocks about him coming out of college, is the elements of he's not a 6'5", 280-pound edge player. He's a lot lighter, a lot more athletic. And when you rely on your ability to get after players and rely on that speed, sometimes these powerful offensive linemen can take advantage of it, like you saw on that play. Now, for Michael Penix Jr., he has to play a lot better than he did last week against Carolina. Was it the type of performance you would have liked from him after that Sunday night game against Minnesota? Not even close. But you have to like anticipation. The anticipatory throws that he has in his arsenal are probably better than just about any of those young second-year quarterbacks than a Jayden Daniels, who just delivers the football before the wide receiver is coming open. And sometimes it hurts you, like on the pick 6 that we saw against Carolina last week. That one is on him, no doubt about it. But again, this is a learning curve here. What can help you out? We talked about it in the opening, the run game. Relying on Bijan Robinson. Get him his carries. I want him to get 30 touches in this football game. Make the offense run through Bijan Robinson. Make the Commanders have to stop him, because this team has shown they can get after the passer now. 8 sacks so far on the season for them as a unit. They are getting after the quarterback. They did a great job last week against the Raiders. Now, is it one of the best pass rushers in football? Maybe not. Was that more of a weaker Las Vegas Raider offensive line that might be more catered to that? They did a good job of stopping the run. Let's talk about the offense for Washington now, because there's been the limitation of Terry McLaurin. His status is a little bit up in the air. But Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, or is better known to Commanders fans as Bill, he stepped up in a major way. He needs to continue doing that and playing at a high level. But this Commanders offense, when they get humming now, they just start to lean on teams, and that physicality starts to play a major role, and I believe that it can in this game against Atlanta, which is built good at the edge spot. Leonard Floyd, Pierce, these are good passers. These are good pass rushers, but are they great run defenders? They're still developing in that part of their game to become those 3 down, every down type of players, where I see the advantage being for the Washington Commanders continuing to run the football at a high level. So far on the season, Bill's got 5.7 yards a carry, doing that really well. Would like to see maybe them go a little bit more to the run game, keep Marcus Mariota involved, keep his legs. It was such a weapon of his at Oregon. Is he the same speed or that type of player what he was at Oregon? It's hard to debate a guy after 10 years is still that type of athlete. You could say, yeah, he's about the same speed. You'd have to ask Marcus yourself, but he still looks plenty athletic enough to run this offense in a similar manner to what Jayden is. It's just his baseline is lower. His ceiling is going to be much lower than how Jayden would be able to do it. I have a lean for the Atlanta Falcons in this game. I really do. I believe a big bounce back is coming for Penix. He will be able to attack that young secondary. That's my key in this game, is as far as Penix goes, attacking those young corners. Mikey Sanders still out of Michigan. He's a second-year player, physical on the outside. That was his style with Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator for Michigan, and what they preached all the time was physicality. He can come up and tackle now. Trey Amos, who's been one of my favorite players to look at, he is a very talented rookie player, and he's held up in a great way. Remember that play he had first drive against the Packers Thursday night game? A little bit beat. He's out of phase, gets back in phase. A ball that's underthrown by Love to Matthew Golden. Makes a great play on the football. We see a little SEC, Ole Miss versus Texas going at it. He makes a play on the football, gets back in and makes a big play for his team on a 4th down. I go at those guys. That is what's necessary. You have your Drake London. No matter who's on him, he will have a size advantage in that matchup. One-on-ones, looking for Drake London. Bijan Robinson is the type of athlete now that will pose a huge problem for Bobby Wagner, for Frankie Louvu having to track him down. These are guys that formulate one of the best linebacker cores in football. Bobby Wagner is still doing it at an incredibly high level. Bijan Robinson is a different type of player, difference maker. Get him the ball out in space. We've been seeing it the entire season. That's where he shows his brilliance, is getting him the ball 6-7 times through the passing game, not being afraid to let Bijan touch it and not having to run between the tackles or have to just run the football 24 times, creating with him. Kyle Pitts a little bit limited this week. He is slated to play. Continue to attack the middle of the defense for Washington. That's a key for them, is really that secondary on the outside, on the edges for them, really important. And then the linebacker play, how do they defend against Kyle Pitts? That is what I'm looking at. And I believe that there's a large edge that the bounce back will come for Michael Penix Jr. in this matchup. Now for Washington, again, Terry McLaurin a little bit banged up. I talked about them attacking with the run. I think that you get a little bit more conservative in this game. The Falcons have shown the propensity to turn the football over like they did last week. Make Penix have to march the ball down the field. Don't play as aggressive as you would want to necessarily. Allow them to go on 12, 13, 14 play drives. Make Michael Penix have to march the football down the entire field. Force Bijan Robinson to have 6-7 carries, that they aren't just getting the large explosive chunks that they will be targeting. That's what I'm looking at, but I'm going to be leaning towards the Falcons being able to handle that. So I have the Falcons winning this game 24-20. Frankly, if we're being honest, if Jayden Daniels is the starter, if the news is out there, he actually is playing, I think that the Falcons lose this game. Jayden is the type of difference maker, that type of player right now, that he is the difference between, 5-6 points for your team. Him being out of this, I'll side with Atlanta winning this football game. Let me know down below in the comments who you believe comes out with the win. Awesome matchup a season ago. I believe we get another great one. Please let me know your reaction. Let me know where I'm right. Let me know where I'm wrong. Please subscribe for more football content in the future. I make NFL college videos every day. So glad football is back. And I continue to say football is back until the calendar turns to October. So I appreciate you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.